you guys. Hope you guys are having a good night. I'm Katie with King of the Deep. Tuning in for you guys tonight. We are, excuse me, a little bit off schedule from our normal routine. Typically, we would come on Wednesday, so we are a day late and $1 short this week. I'm still a little bit raspy. I know if you guys were out there with us at Mud Bash and you inhaled half of the dirt that I inhaled, then you probably been dealing with the same thing all week. But say hello if you are here. Let me know where you are. I see Audie says, let's go. Hey, Audie. Anybody else tuning in, say hey. Steve is actually in the process of he's around. He may jump in. He may jump in the comments. But if you are familiar with what we had going on last week, we were doing a little bit of a TLC to our side-by-side. So he is working on that. But I did want to jump on and tell you guys, just kind of recap Mud Bash real quickly with you. Get any thoughts and feedback from anybody that was there at the event. We can talk about it for a few minutes and then just let you guys know what to expect for our next event, which is going to be Memorial Day weekend, the end of the month, May 23rd through 27th at Deep Creek ATV Park in Linden, North Carolina. That's just outside of Fayetteville in North Carolina. And that's where we're going to be headed next. But real quick before we do that, let me just give a big shout out to our sponsors. A lot of these guys were at Busco Beach last weekend. And so it was really neat for us to have some time to catch up with them. Of course, as always, Super ATV. We had Jordan, Kevin, Andrew, Cheyenne all out there joining us last week at Busco. And that was really cool to get to spend some time with them. So big shout out to Super ATV, our title sponsor. Also Specialized ATV, MSA Offroad Wheels, Aftermarket Assassins, ORO-Fab Offroad Outlaws. They were out there and they are helping us with our machine. I'm trying to get that turned back around after our little situation we had on Saturday. If you got to see that, Carolina Custom ATV, Bruce and his crew was out there at Busco as well as Peraza Synthetics. And then we've got Gator Waders, VP Race Fuel, Murray Powersports, Monster Rigging Offroad, and of course, last but not least, Sturdy Stripper Chemicals was also out there at Busco. So huge shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors as always. It was neat to be able to see everybody this weekend that was out at the Beast of the East, Busco Beach, for their biggest event of the year, Mud Bash. We had a wonderful weekend. It was packed. The park was, it was amazing. I know that several of the vendors that I talked to had really, really fantastic weekends. A couple of them had record-breaking weekends, better than they've done anywhere else. And that just goes to show, it's a testament to how awesome Busco Beach is and Mud Bash specifically there. And really, out of all of the events in the nation, truly, it is one of, I say it's the best, it's the biggest. Everybody's got different opinions, but you can't argue with the sales, and so these vendors, they came out. It's a lot of work to get ready to come out to these events, but they put the work in, they came out, and I'm glad that they had a great weekend. So shout out to everybody that was out at Busco Beach for us. I really liked, what did you guys think? You guys say hello. I know more people are jumping on. What did you guys think about, the way that they had the vendor field set up? I personally selfishly loved the fact that the food was near the near the vendors because we didn't have to walk far. Probably spent more money that way, but it was good for us. I love the check-in process. I thought that I know people still had a wait, but to get into that, but you would have had a wait no matter what. And it was a lot safer for everybody, for the staff, for, people riding on the machines, for people trying to, go down, turn around and come back and go back, park in the field and whatnot, to not have to have that bottleneck up at the office. So I really enjoyed that they put that check-in station over there. And I think that that's going to be a really good resource for all of their big events here on out. We had a great turnout, as everybody knows. It was packed, very successful weekend. I had a lot of people came up to us and asked us about the bounty hole. And I think there was some confusion about that. Traditionally, it has always been the round track racing at Busco Beach Mud Bash. The bounty hole is done at Fall Bash, which is one of our series events. And then we have Daisy Dukes in August, and we have the snorkel race in July. But typically there is no bounty hole for Mud Bash. We did do that about 4 years ago. We did a round track race and a bounty hole on the same day. And it was just very difficult to navigate from one physical location to the other. If you were there on Saturday during the round track race, you saw how long it took us just to get the excavator over to get our machine out. And so trying to safely relocate that excavator from one location to another, it's very challenging, to do that safely with all of the crowd of people, the massive amounts of people that are there for Mud Bash. So with that being said, I would not say that we would not do it in the future. We're open to it, to discussing, different ways that we could potentially make that feasible. But there was never a planned bounty hole for this past event weekend. So we didn't cancel anything, just wanted to kind of clear the air there. I know there was some talks from some people that kind of wanted to do one back in the woods on their own, but that wasn't anything affiliated with us or the park. So we did have the round track races. Let me pop those winners up here for you guys. Let's see. So this is the single cylinder class. So congratulations to first place, Bryce Westbrook, and then to second place, Davis Milheimer. And then let's see here. Then we've got amateur 751 to 1000 cc class. First place went to Gavin Spain, and second place went to Mr. Josh Pope. Those are both guys that raced with us in the series, so that was pretty neat. I was excited to see them race again at the round track race. And then the last class that we ran was a side-by-side class. First place, Mr. Wyatt Wells, and second place, JC Vieira. So that was pretty cool too. And a lot of people were kind of, let me take that off. A lot of people were a little nervous, I think, not really knowing how deep that track was. And I know you guys heard me on the lives last week say it's supposed to be 18 inches is what they said they put back in. 18 to 24 inches is what we wanted. And I would say that most of the course was 18 to 24, maybe 30 inches, except for the one hole that Steve managed to find. So if you were there and saw that, then you got quite the show for seeing the side-by-side. We were going to try to just take a little preview lap and show everybody how shallow it was. And we managed to find the spot that the one spot that was not that way. And then our machine is just huge, so it sunk down and we had to get it taken care of. So we appreciate you guys, your patient waiting with us as we got that machine out on Saturday. As I said, it took quite a while for the excavator, but the guys put on a good show. Everybody that raced with us, everybody had great sportsmanship. It was a special day. We got to dedicate the track with the new sign for the Robert Parker Memorial Racetrack there. You just saw it in the photo. So that was pretty neat and pretty special too. I know that there's been a lot of transitions with the park with the new ownership, and they have some plans to do something a little bit better as far as that racetrack in the coming years. But it just, with a lot of things on the list, it was just one thing that didn't happen before this race. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for the park. And I know that they've got an endless list of improvements, the care that they put into the few things, as far as like the vendor field, the check-in process. Those are just all things that they're going to continue to put that thought and care into other ways to improve things for us as a whole, for us all to enjoy the park. So I'm really looking forward to that and very excited about it. All right. So jumping into our next event, which is our series number 3 event. This is going to be May 23rd through May 27th at Deep Creek ATV Park in Linden, North Carolina. That is just outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Deep Creek ATV Park, if you guys are, I'm sure many of you know, it is Brian Fulcher's park with Team Momentum Racing. A lot of people have been there. That's actually where we did our opening series event number 1 in the very first year of the series. And we had, at that event, we had Demun Jones come out. It was also Creekfest. So it's pretty neat to be able to kind of take it back and go back to the roots there, the way that we all started, and go back to that same park for the same event with Demun. So we're really looking forward to that. We are going to have the Little Dirty Kids Bounty Hole series there as well, and also the King of the Deep. So we are still looking for Little Dirty Kids sponsors for this next event. If I know that there are a lot of sponsors that have done the first event and the second event, or some that did one or the other, that are still planning to sponsor this one. So I didn't want to leave anybody out on the graphic. If you guys are interested, I'm going to reach back out to everybody and just touch base. I know several of you have told me to count you in, but I will be doing that over the next few days. And if there's anybody else that wants to donate to those kids, we give 100% of the Little Dirty Kids donations back to the kids. So that's pretty exciting. We did turn it into a series event. So just like just like the adults, the kids are getting an opportunity to race for points as well, which is pretty neat. It just lets them get their feet wet into it. If you're not familiar, I know our first 2 events were out of state. So if you're local and you've got a kid that's under 13 that wants to race, but maybe, you would consider them a beginner or an amateur, or they're intimidated, or you're intimidated by the regular King of the Deep tracks, this is the perfect place for them to do it. Safety gear is really important. All of the complete rules are on our website at kingofthedeep.com. If you click on the Little Dirty Kids tab, it talks about what is recommended, what is required. But if you guys watch some of our reels, you see these kids, the safer you can get them, the better. We definitely recommend the chest protectors. We recommend boots. They have to have a full face helmet, all of that stuff. The safety gear is very important. And it's just good to go ahead and kind of instill those good habits in them right now when they're young and you can tell them what to do. So these are the classes. We've got the mini mutters, which is 8 and under, and then the single cylinder V-twin and the side-by-side, which is 13 and under. If you guys have any questions for that, you should be able to find everything on the website, or you can reach out to us as well. So it's been really fun to see these kids competing. Like, for example, in the mini mutters class, the 2 leaders for first and second place are brother and sister. So like the first event, the brother won first place, and then the second event, the sister won first place. So they're like, it's a head to head, it's a showdown. And it's a little bit like that with the series too. The small tire overall points right now in the small tire NA class, it's like a 5-point difference between first, second, and third place. And then the same thing with the small tire open class. We got to lead with first place by like 15 points, but the second place, there's a 3-way tie for second place. And then fourth place is on, or, the next person down is only 5 points behind. So, I mean, at this point, there's still so much like anything can happen. You just don't ever know what's going to go right or what's going to go wrong. And that's kind of like the exciting thing about chasing the points. But the important thing is that you come and you get those points for being there. What else can we tell you? I know you want to see this schedule. So we're going to do the $6,000 for King of the Deep like we always do. And then for the Little Dirty Kids, we'll see what we are able to get together for them. At the first event, we raised $1,650. At the last event, we raised $1,810. So we've already had like $3,500 given away to the kids so far this year. What is that? 35, 34, whatever. That's my quick math, so don't hold me to it. But $1,810 plus $1,650. We are going to have a concert on Friday night. We've got Demun Jones coming, Dusty Lee, and Brandon Hart. So here's our schedule for this coming weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend, so Thursday through Monday, the park's going to be open. It's usually open Thursday through Sunday. So you're getting an extra day on this long weekend, which is really cool. So Thursday, 8 a.m., the gates will open, and they'll stay open all the way till Monday at 6. It's free for 12 and under, I think is what it is. The cutoff, I believe, is 12 and under for the park for the kids' age. And it's $20 a person per day. They don't charge per machine or anything like that. If you're looking for an RV hookup, those have been sold out for a while now. So there are no more hookup sites left. But they have plenty of dry camping. When we were there in March for their opening event for the season, the OG Snorkel race at Deep Creek, it was packed. So, I mean, it was super packed. So if you are planning to come in for the weekend, you can also, Kevin's really great. He's the manager there. And if you call or message the park, you're probably going to talk to him. He's fantastic about working with you. Like if you're like, all right, well, I want to go drop off my camper or go ahead and kind of, drop off something because you got to know that you've got to make a couple of trips. He's fantastic to work with. Just reach out. If you got, if you get off work early on Tuesday or Wednesday and you want to go drop off your camper and then come back on Friday, he'll work with you. Just reach out to him and coordinate that with the park directly because they're fantastic. So Friday's open riding all day, just like Thursday. Friday night, they have gotten a DJ that's going to take care of y'all on Friday night. There are going to be food vendors, parts vendors, apparel vendors, all kinds of, anything you need vendors. Saturday is when everything's happening as far as all of the main event stuff. So just like we kind of been doing for those that have been racing with us in Florida and Georgia, 9 to 11 is the registration. 11 o'clock is going to be the driver's meeting. 12 noon will be the Little Dirty Kids Bounty Series kickoff. 1 p.m. or right after we finish Little Dirty Kids is going to be the King of the Deep Bounty Series. We should be done with that, I would expect, within 3 to 4 hours at that, with the way that we are planning to do these holes. So then we'll do awards at 6, and then at 7:30ish is when the concerts are going to start on the stage. So as I said, we've got Demun Jones, Dusty Lee, and Brandon Hart, and it's going to be a heck of a show. So Demun always puts on a good show, and I really like Dusty Lee too. I know Brandon Hart was at the park, I think, last year, and they said that a lot of people loved him. So it's going to be a great lineup. I mean, it's going to be an awesome time. So we're super, super pumped about that. It's a long weekend. Everybody can come, enjoy yourself, have a great time, and just hang out with the family. It is a family-friendly event. Bring your kids. Let them compete. It is only $20 for the kids to race, and they have the time of their life. Like we're super, super, super excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing some local kids getting involved with it. Because that's what it's all about, is just kind of continuing this and making it something that the whole family can do together. So we're looking forward to that. What else do I have for you guys tonight? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, so let's see what we got over here. Hey, Link, how are you? We're excited to see you here on Memorial Day. We got to put more events on the schedule so we can visit with Jonathan more often. So, all right, what do we have? I'll pop this up real quick. After the Creekfest series event number 3, our event after that is going to be about 4 weeks later. We'll be going to the Rec Yard in Fayetteville, North Carolina for Trucks Gone Wild. That is not a series event, but there is going to be a bounty hole there that day. I think it pays out $2,000 or $2,500, winner take all situation there. So that's going to be a really good event. And the cool thing about that is you get to kind of preview the whole that we're going to do when we go back there later in the year for our series event. So keep that on your calendar. So we've got basically one a month from here on out through the rest of the year, starting with our next one, stop number 3, Creekfest at Deep Creek. So let's see. Yeah, you're good sitting out back by the water in Florida where it's nice. Although I will say you can have Florida, because when we were down there a couple weeks ago, all those bugs and snakes and alligators, you can keep all that. You can keep all that. So, all right, you guys, that's really all I have for you tonight. If you guys have any questions, then check in with us. Send us a message, send us something on Instagram, on Facebook, what have you, and we will do our best to get that for you. We'll probably be back next week on a different random night. We do have a prior commitment next Wednesday, but we'll get you guys some more information. A few people have asked about, are we going to be doing anything else at the park, like drag racing? Right now, that's up in the air. It's nothing planned, because when we were there for the OG snorkel race, we broke the attendance record there, and it was part of their camping has been expanded on the side of the drag strip, and so it makes for not always the safest situation. People don't always drive where they're supposed to drive. And so we're just not sure at this point. We're expecting a very large crowd, but we want to be able to operate things safely. So at this point, there's nothing set. Not to say that can't change, but that's where we're at right now with it. So it'll just kind of depend, I think, on how it unfolds. But there's nothing planned as far as that goes right now, because I know a couple of people did reach out about that. But we're still going to have an awesome time on Saturday. Deep Creek is great because they've got bleachers and stuff, so it's kind of neat. You can sit and be able to actually see from an elevated space down into the pit areas, which is pretty neat. And then, as I said, you got some awesome concerts for Saturday night as well, included in your admission price. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to us. Reach out to Deep Creek. They are opening on Thursday morning, and as I said, you can certainly reach out to the park and start getting your stuff down there if you need to make more than one trip. They're great about that. So just reach out to Kevin over there. Otherwise, you guys have a great night, and we will be back next week. Happy Thursday, and hope you guys have a good weekend this weekend. And kiss your mamas, because it's Mother's Day. And if you're married, do something nice for your wife and your mom. So y'all have a good night, and we will see you soon.